we have a quorum. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So to start off the meeting, I would like to make an introduction. We have someone here that I would like to introduce her, and then we will hear the library update from Lauren Coleman, and then we'll take any public comments. So Ingrid Cliffel, I'd like to introduce you as the new Paint Creek Trailways Manager. So welcome. We're so happy you're here. Would you like to approach the podium and say anything?
So I really wanted to just come here and let you have a face and a name to put together. And yes, I'm the brand new Paint Creek Trail Manager. I've had my job for 1 week, so I'm still learning. Let's see, one of my first jobs will be working with your staff on the 31.7 bridge replacement. So I'm looking forward to that. And Mayor Salvia had asked a little bit about my background. So I've been involved with Oakland Township Parks and Rec and Oakland Township in general since the Trailway was only a vision. So I've got lots of history. I still work with Parks and Rec up there, but I'm looking forward to partnering with all these communities and helping to improve the trail and continue it on. So I will be coming back to visit you when I know a little bit more about my role. But the doors of communication are absolutely open, so any questions or comments or observations or queries, please reach out and ask.
Thank you. And what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Well, right now I don't have access to my Paint Creek Trail email, but the phone number is 248-651-9260.
Great.
I do have to talk to somebody because the link on your page doesn't take us to the current trail website.
We've got a broken link. Okay.
Well, it's a new website too.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but
Nick, we got that?
Got it.
Great.
okay. All right. Thank you. Any
Wonderful.
questions?
Thank you.
great.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm
Welcome.
Excited to have you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to an update from our library liaison, Dr. Lauren Coleman.
Oh, I wish. I can't claim that honorific.
Okay.
Thank you for your faith. This is going to be my 2025 report in my role as the library liaison to the Rochester Hills Public Library Board. I would like to thank the Rochester City Council for their support of my appointment and also extend my deepest appreciation to Director Morian, Board President Bonham, and Vice President Deal for their warm welcome to the board. They were all very patient with my many questions as I familiarized myself with the operating details of our agreements, services, and structures. I am also very appreciative of the unanimous Rochester City Council support of the new RHPL services agreement in August of this year. At this time, I'd like to note some of the major changes at the library in 2025 that our residents are benefiting from, and take the opportunity as well to share some insight into next year's anticipated activities. In the last year, the RHPL board has supported extension of the library hours from 1 to 6 on Sundays for June, July, and August, so Sundays can be enjoyed year-round by all. They renovated the Youth Story Time Room, funded primarily by the Friends of the Library organization. They also renovated the adult reading area with the addition of a fireplace, updated furnishings, increased electrification, and the addition of 2 laptop bar areas. We also were able to secure the purchase of a new early literacy bus, Big Blue, to service our area's littlest readers. And we've updated the late material return policy with reduced fine levels for our residents. In the area of personnel, a new head of digital services role was created and filled to recognize the growing use and increased need for electronic materials and services. I believe this role is essential to adequately understanding and meeting the needs of our residents for electronic services and support. items that we can look forward to from the RHPL board in 2026 include supporting funding for required mandatory elevator updates. Also about $1 million to support HVAC updates, which are desperately needed. I don't know how many of you have been in the youth room when the boiler system kicks on and you hear the eerie ghost of RHPL. So we're hoping that we can lay that to rest. There also is an increased materials budget, and this is no small thing. So 20% increase over last year's. It's going to be a $1.4 million investment in resources for our communities to utilize for 2026. There also is an enhanced programming budget, a 20% increase in the programming budget so that we can continue to bring in high name and high value authors and performers for our community to enjoy free. And the community survey will run again in 2026. In beginning my liaison role, I've established a liaison email and Google account that will remain with the Rochester liaison position moving forward, ensuring continuity of information, historic communication, and clarity for library-related communications. I have been providing the City Council and City Manager email updates after I attend each RHPL board meeting. I also serve on the Policy Committee for the RHPL Board, and as a member of that committee, I've provided input and participated in the discussion around proposed changes and updates as necessary. My intended areas of focus or improvement for 2026-27 is to continue with the monthly City Council email updates for all the board meetings that I'm in attendance. I will update the Rochester City Library Liaison website, so that was a timely comment around the park system. I've already spoken with the admin support for the city, and we've got a date in October that we'll be getting together to figure out what appropriate materials should be there. So we have a site, but no information on the site. I also will be working with Director Morian and the RHPL board to explore metrics that will help us understand additional areas of patron satisfaction and suggested improvement activities, i.e. around electronic material utilization, makerspace utilization, and makerspace capacity. I also intend to utilize the community survey data collected during the community survey to understand further Rochester resident areas of interest and concern for future focused efforts. My thanks once again to the Rochester City Council for allowing me to serve the residents of Rochester in this liaison role, and to the RHPL Board and Director Morian for their continued support. I'm very excited about our collaborative relationship and look forward to a fruitful 2026 for our RHPL partnership.
Thank you. Excellent report. Council, any questions? Councilmember Trent?
Not so much a question, but I do want to thank you for your very detailed report from each library board meeting. And I enjoy that. I know that your participation is very important there and that your opinion is highly valued, is my understanding. And I'd also like to make a note of, I am so excited to see all this increased services and to the city from the library to the 3 cities or 2 cities and township. And the increased materials budget is very important because that has been something I believe that the library has been working on for a while, because when my memory serves me, when the library was built, that the idea was that the materials budget would come. So I'm glad to see this in there and at this amount, because it was a lot of funds to build the original library.
Absolutely, and it's a high priority for the existing board.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Hauser?
Oh, no, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
No, thank you. Excellent report, thank you. Now I'll take any public comment for something that is not on our agenda this evening.
Good evening, council members, city administration, and residents of at home watching. My name is Ann Peterson. I live at 233 North Alice. Tonight I brought in some cider and donuts from the Rochester Cider Mill. They actually put on a new white metal roof, so it looks really nice up there. So free for anyone who wants to enjoy. And that is to help celebrate that this is an election year and probably the last one with our city clerk based on the agenda tonight. So anyhow, I am here tonight because as an 8-year former council person, I am here because I could not sit back and ignore all the conversations floating in our 3 square miles. Rochester needs a change in city council leadership and how decisions are made, because siloed decision-making directly affects how well all our city operates and serves its residents and taxpayers. As far back as 2020 and up until the last discussion in November 2024, in the minutes there have been lively discussions through all the SWOT analysis that were conducted to put succession planning first and foremost on the table to discuss. However, it is obvious that some council members had a succession plan all their own. This in itself is astonishing, as some council members appear to not follow any succession planning, and some of those who wanted succession planning, however, now ignores the policies with wanting the removal of our incredible fire chief, Cieslik, who has given a lifetime of service to help save lives, almost 50 years next year. Provide a safe place for those in need during emergencies, and have his staff of incredible firefighters, paramedics, and other first responders give their time to provide our community a gathering place with breakfasts, dinners, and event coverage to provide service to our small town, just as all our other first responders do as well. I have never seen politics play a bigger part than City Council's own policies and procedures that were put in place to make employees feel respected and appreciated, especially after going through some not good years. Our department heads have gone above and beyond for years to provide services to this community that were in the best interest of the residents and taxpayers, even through horrible leadership, including council members. This takes the cake. And if this council does not do the right thing to correct bad siloed decision-making that will put our residents and taxpayers' lives at risk and cause disruptions, then maybe there will be other paths for them to follow in the future. If it is true that this was a siloed decision of only a few council members, then maybe you need to think twice before making decisions in how they will appear. However, the bigger question I have is that I see the city clerk on the agenda announcing her retirement on March 27, 2026, and she is going to give administration directions on the process for filling that vacancy. So do we only allow certain positions to choose their own retirement date and give directions on the process of filling that vacancy? I've always been a strong proponent for educating myself so I can make good decisions. Maybe not popular ones to go along with the crowd. However, I've always represented the residents, taxpayers, and employees with respect and integrity. And I would only hope that all of you would do the same. And I hope that this will be rectified, because it is one of the worst things on earth to hear the rumors spread throughout this community about a person who has given so much of their life. I have been here 37 years, and I have never seen anyone treated this way when we've had people that could have been treated this way. So if it's all true, you have a job to do, and I can only hope that you will make the right decision. And on one last note, I think that we need to put something on the website and in the newsletter that addresses bicycle laws, because they're not being followed appropriately, and people are going to get hurt, and it's going to be the pedestrian, and I don't think that's fair. But I really hope that you will all do the right thing and correct what has been done. It is the wrong thing to do, and I've sat there for 8 years, and I know what our job is to do, and follow the policies and procedures that we put into place to make those things happen appropriately. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is there any other public comment this evening? Good evening, Bob. How are you?
Good. Bob DiTomaso, 426 West University. I did want to speak about bicycles as well. I was over near the library today, and 2 people on electric bikes went by much faster than anybody pedaling could go by, and a couple of people literally had to jump off the sidewalk to get out of their way. So I agree, something needs to be done. That might even need to be a walk your bike zone. I see a lot of potential accidents, you know, coming over the bridge right near, whatever the restaurant is there. And then also, you know, coming up the hill toward the library area, all that. But yeah, these two bikes today neither one was pedaling and they were going pretty fast, so, thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Good evening, Patricia Kane, 817 West 4th Street, Rochester. An entirely different subject, actually a couple of them, but the first one is the disinformation that is being spread by videos, websites, phone calls, you name it, for our election that will be coming up this fall by people running. And I'm very disappointed, I think I touched on this before, because it's not misinformation, it is disinformation. And disinformation changes your perception, and it's done for a reason, and that's votes. The last mailing was 33% of Rochester residents are not being served for their taxes. I actually did an investigation and actually called for the source. Answer: who makes up this 33%? And this is what I was told today. East side, west side, north, south. I said, whoa, I'm not stupid. You mean the HOAs? Well, there's a couple of other people too. Okay, HOAs, here we go again. They're getting the services, but they have a deed in place and they've got contracts in place. They didn't have to buy there, but they did. And if they didn't read their contracts, they need to. If they don't like what it says and you can't break the deed, then you got to think about elsewhere. And if not, you know what? That's why the rest of us bought in the city. Are they getting services? Yes, they're getting the fire, they're getting police, they're getting clerking, they're getting DPW, they're getting a lot. Next, road. Oh, roads aren't being repaired. Well, they are all through Rochester because, God bless, we're all turning around and parking elsewhere or doing stuff, and City Hall used to get tons of calls, but it's called planning. Planning for that infrastructure repairs. So you can imagine how I feel when I'm told that, oh wow, funds were pulled from 2026 and 27 for North Rochester Road because MIDOT's not going to be doing it. Those funds were then used for an HOA to help them and appease them, and was not yet ready to go to put in what they needed. Next, I have a small stream running through my property. The video's up there, 2014 it started. I bought the property with a little tiny creek thing going through. Water backed up once in one of these huge rainstorms that we had, which is once every few years, but seems to be getting a little recent. If that happened to me, and I bought the property with this little creek thing running through, I know it's my problem. Why should it be the city's problem to pay for it, or the rest of this community to pay for it? We did not sign that deed. We did not sign a contract. Read it. But it's being spread as if this city has not done their jobs. And that is entirely false. It's also false on the money. Next comes the projects. Oh, you frivolous fools. You've wasted so much money. Tell me where. Because it seems to me we debate everything, and gosh knows we have a lot of people that have to come back with revisions or a different plan, and we look at those finances, and we still debate the finances even as a community. Public hearing or before, people will weigh in on it. So here we go. What didn't you like? Got grants for the mini forest. We got the Graham going. The disability, the parks for the kids. What didn't you like? Oh, the skateboard park. Well, that skateboard park had been up for debate and fundraising and a lot of other things for what, 7, 8, 9 years? It finally came to fruition. Here's the problem, so I'm told. Well, people from other communities will use it. Well, gee, people from other communities come here for lanyap, they come here for big bright lights, they come here for arts and apples. They come here for a lot of stuff we do. So what do? Ban them? I'm sorry. They're in the parks. They even bring their dogs and don't pay the $10 pass like the rest of us do. But are we going to get that disinformation circling so bad for votes? I know people in these HOAs that live. I've lived in Rochester now for, what, about 70 years? So don't tell me this. And don't make an entire city, because that's a reflection even on a taxpayer looking bad. Because this works for one of me. And that's what they don't understand. There's enough of us that if it was going haywire and going south, we certainly have a lot to say. But I don't know how to stop the disinformation coming out of an HOA. Poor planning on their part, poor fiscal responsibility on their part is not an entire community's responsibility to pick up the tabs because they did such a lousy job planning for their sewers, for their other little problems. It's in a deed. If you don't like what that developer put in, my thing is, if you read it, you shouldn't have purchased that property. But I don't think it's fair that it's getting out there the way it is, and I'm seeing more and more of it. And I just think everybody needs to look at your candidates you're gonna vote for in depth and in detail, know them, and know how they operate. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. Oh, there's one other little thing, and yeah, this does have to do with Chief Cieslik. I wish he could have continued for his 50-year mark, because most of us knew he wanted to retire effective on the fiscal year end, which was July 1st, 2026. Marking 50 years because I retired from healthcare with about 55 years in. But I remember when Ed hit his 50 mark, and it was a big deal. It's in so many ways. And I wish that he would have been able to do it. He's done an awful lot. And the one thing that man had constant in all the years I've known him, his love and respect for this community, this city, and us. And he took very good care of us. And I just think the respect should be afforded to him for his longevity and what he's done. He's done so much that you will never know about just in my neighborhood with people. And I'll tell you, he was there when you had to lean on him. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have a public comment? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda Gamage, 333 Grigg Street. And I'm not sure if this is the appropriate venue, but I was reading through the minutes that are on the consent agenda for tonight from August 11th, and page 3 of those minutes under number 8 contain a few public comments from residents on Albertson and residents on Griggs. And they all state that the residents support rezoning Albertson's properties for residential. I just am hoping that you can correct the minutes. I think all of us intended to say we support the rezoning to remain residential rather than a change to residential. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, we'll make sure.
Thank you.
Additional public comments? Yes. If you could please approach.
So my name is Corey Kaidan. I got an invite or a letter that is not on tonight's agenda, but I feel the need to speak. I own Rochester Hills Tire and Service, and I'm here tonight for the rezoning. It's frustrating. The devalue of a business for a man that serves a community that draws many people into this town that otherwise wouldn't even come in here. We've been there for 47 years. The gentleman's shoes that I got to fill leading behind him and the mark that he's left in this town, which many of you guys know, it's disheartening. The city's master plan to pull out repair facilities or businesses like that participate in love for this community and the help that I'm able to provide, and then that also my guys provide. That was all I have for tonight, but I will be back at the proper meeting.
Thank you. Corey, what was your property address?
I'm sorry, 510 North Main.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm flipping up here. Sad Rastam, 111 South Street, Action 1. I too am very disheartened with the zoning that they're doing in our locations. One being One being as far as us not being able to build out or expand our shops in the future. Someone that's been in business in that location for over 30 years. One of the oldest repair facilities, along with Corey, in the state, or in the city itself, that's been serving this community well for over 30 years. Plans of having my 2 kids, generational, come in, just like how my old man did it for me, seems like almost going out the window every single day when we hear about the zoning, when they change us over from industrial to research and development, which I have no idea where that came from, why you leave our competitors across the street industrial. You have completely locked us down as far as when it comes down to wanting to expand. I say we're a very busy shop, and we've been serving this community for quite some time. We've been good to this city. We've been good to everyone that comes through our way. And it's really disheartening to see that, no changes or the changes that are coming to us, it's really going to affect us. They're going to affect our property value, going to affect our plans for my future, our plans for my children's future, something that I wanted my kids to get involved with, something that probably most likely won't happen if I can't expand and do what I like to do. It's tough, I will say one thing, when we did meet up with the city and we told them our concerns and we told them what we want to do in our future, your commissioners are part of the Pickens, Mr. Pickens, word for word, find a different city to go in. What's his word? And that's what I'll leave you with, someone that's been here for over 30 years, being told basically to pack up and leave.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Councilmember Sage.
I just wanted to make a comment based on some of the comments we've heard tonight. And it regards succession planning. It's something that this council has been adamant about. Within every goals and objectives exercise, it's been a priority for us. And if we look back on some of those opportunities we had, Chief Schattenhelm retired, and he shepherded us through selecting a new police chief and training George when he came in. The city clerk has indicated a date that she would like to retire with a plan already for selection of viable candidates as well as going outside, right? So she wants to be actively part of that process. So I would like Chief Cieslik to be part of the same process. We owe him that respect of the 17 or 18 years he served as our fire chief. So I will make a motion to extend his employment agreement for up to 6 months to facilitate not only the search and securing a new fire chief, but also to help train that individual.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Sage.
Support.
Support by Mayor Pro Tem Vixen. Looks like there wants to be some discussion on this motion. Councilmember Jones.
I'm just questioning as far as the process, if we've already accepted a letter of resignation with a date on it. Is there such a thing as doing a motion to change that?
I think you can do that.
I guess I'm confused.
Yeah.
I guess the question I would be is, how do you compel someone to stay on if they've tendered a resignation? You know what I'm saying? That's just procedurally, how did you do that? Maybe he's got plans for 6 months afterwards.
I don't know that we can motion it.
City Attorney, guidance regarding a letter of retirement date?
Sure. Before I say that, he does not have an employment agreement, but the spirit of it is not lost, but just so that's clear. Just because the fire chief has tendered his resignation as of a certain date, that doesn't mean that council can't ask him to continue on in some capacity. So he could say no.
Okay.
Or you can't compel someone to work, but if city council want to make that suggestion or offer to him in some capacity, then there's nothing stopping city council from doing that.
So his choice to set a retirement date was really based on a discussion. So I guess I'm just at odds on, I mean, to me, it was assumed that he would be part of the process. And, my dad taught me not to assume anything. So I guess, city manager, can you give us some guidance on how the process is going to be conducted and chief's role within that process?
Right, so with him being gone 3 weeks, it wouldn't be in time. So we went through the whole process with MCO. It's an organization that will help us narrow down candidates. We've already had it out there. They're due soon. They can't even get to us till mid-October. The whole process wouldn't even end until the end of November at the quickest. We just have to go through that process. People have to interview, we have to narrow it down. They go through testing for a whole day. So it's going to be into November. And then if Chief would agree and stay, then he could help transition them out for December. So we're back to the end of the year where it was planned in the first place. So that's the process to get through that, so.
So, city manager, what's your guidance on this?
I'd love to talk to John and see if I could get him to do that. It would be smooth, it would help with the transition. I used Chief George and Chief Steve as an example. It worked beautifully. And actually, it didn't, if I remember right, Chief George, you're there? Yep. I think after about 7 or 10 days, they both said, we're good. He's the seasoned police chief, and Chief Steve didn't want to get in the way. So that's how I'm sure Chief John would be. They'd be like, hey, it depends on who it is. There aren't internal candidates that have applied, so it's going to be somebody from the outside. So that is going to take a bigger learning curve, I think. So I certainly can have that discussion with him if directed by council. I'd love to.
Okay, so you need the direction from council. So we have a motion and a second. Council, any other questions? Councilmember Jones.
Because the motion, I think, gave 6 months as the time frame. Should we have it that specific, or do we have to do the 6 months, even if he's saying?
No, actually,
I'm
that might
good.
work against me talking to him, because 6 months would probably be, that's way too long.
Right.
But what looks like the process is the end of November. He knows that. As long as he's here, he's helping me through the process, but he wouldn't be here when we start the MCO process. So end of the year gets us through that process.
I will amend my motion to include the search, retention, and then training of the replacement.
Good. And you agree with the amendment? Councilmember
I would
Hauser?
just say, obviously, subject to Chief Cieslak's approval. I mean, if he doesn't want it, he doesn't have to take it. He can't compel someone. But, okay, I just want to be clear on
Okay.
that.
Councilmember Trent?
Well, I think it's a good way to handle this situation, and I am for it.
Yep, I would agree. City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We kind of diverted from our agenda, but that's okay. Any other public comments tonight?
Ann Peterson, real quick, I want to thank Councilmember Sage for standing up and doing the right thing tonight. I think that is commendable of you. You have always been a good force sitting here on council to bring logic back into the picture, and I appreciate the city manager reaching out to him, and I hope we can all save face with that and no more silo-making decisions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening? Okay, seeing none, moving on to our consent agenda. We have 3 items on the consent agenda. We have the minutes from August 11th that we've already had some corrections to. Item B, which is consideration of a request to approve the 2025 Kris Kringle event to be held Friday, December 5th through Saturday, December 6th, and receipt of the check register. Councilmember Trent?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented for A, B, and C.
Motion by Trent, support by Jones. I know Christy is here. Christy, do you want to tell us a brief bit about the Kringle Market and any changes since you are here?
Thank you, Mayor. My daughter's at driver's training at Stony, and I had nothing else to do, so hi. So yes, Kris Kringle Market, as you may recall, last year, with your approval and support, we expanded the market. It was very well received. The community enjoyed it. I think it felt bigger even though in some ways the main thoroughfare was still about the same width, but having that expansion area with the stage was great. We've already worked with Dr. Harasis, who owns the Chase Bank parking lot, to allow us to put Santa's Village back there again this year, which was super popular with the gingerbread houses and all of that. Also, our main stage this year is being sponsored by the Roxy, and Glenn Wilhelm, the owner of the Roxy, is actually securing all the entertainment for us as a part of that agreement. So we'll have something a little bit bigger, not big, but some interesting things to have, some nice music on the stage at all times, entertainment for that. Applications, we've gotten, I think, more than double what we usually do, and they're starting to go through those. Right now, the applications closed on Friday of last week. So we're moving forward, and we are presented again this year by Chief Financial Credit Union. So it should be a great time.
Awesome, thank you. City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King.
Yes, but we're including the amendment or the change to the language?
Mm-hmm.
minutes, okay, yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes. Thank you. Consent agenda passes. We have no old business or tabled items. Moving on to public hearing. So we have a public hearing to consider an ordinance amendment allowing for limited retail use in industrial zoning districts. This would be for first reading and introduction. So, City Attorney, you want to give us the overview again, and then we'll open the public hearing.
Yes, thank you. I'll just briefly, since it was quite vetted at the August 11 meeting. Before you is a proposed zoning ordinance amendment to sections 1703 and 1803, which introduces a new use of limited retail in industrial districts. There's been no changes since that meeting except for one. There was some discussion and a request by Councilmember King previously about there's a tie for the retail space to the business of the rest of the building. And Councilmember King indicated, well, it's a little, my words, but it's a little different for a nonprofit because they, their mission is larger than just what's in the back room. So I did put in some proposed language for consideration to that, and that would be found in subsection B of those two sections, which says, in the case of nonprofits, the retail use may be used to generate funds to support the primary mission of the organization. So that's the only change between the last meeting that this discussed. So if City Council, and this is limited to only the industrial on South Street, and obviously there's, in the future, there could be changes to what these districts are called, but those changes would follow if this moves forward. So if City Council wishes to proceed with it as is, then the requested action is to conduct the required public hearing, since it is a zoning ordinance, and then move forward with first reading and introduction.
Okay, thank you. Council, any discussion or questions on that? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing. It is 7:38. If you would like to make a public comment regarding this potential ordinance change.
Good evening, Council. Ann Peterson again. I didn't come up here to speak about this time, but after hearing two compelling grown men come up here and talk about losing their livelihood over zoning changes, I couldn't help myself. Especially because you're making an accommodation for a single entity and changing it for that purpose. Retail to industrial, adding that retail piece in there. As much as I love that entity and everything else and what they do, you have to seriously consider what you are actually doing to business owners today. This is not something that, when people come in and build a business in a community, that is a mainstay. That is something that you can't take away. This whole country talks about having generational wealth. There's two people who just stood up tonight to tell you about that. If you take that away, you're going to lose the very fabric of what a small town is all about and what it truly means to work hard to have something in America, okay? I am 100% private property rights and land use and zoning. I've been fighting our zoning ordinance for a lot of years here because it does take away the rights of the people who have put the blood, sweat, and tears in. Are they causing a nuisance? Are they doing anything that's out of the ordinary? No, but you are setting a precedent by changing one. And then I would hope that you would grandfather people in to where they are until they no longer have their business. And that is something every municipality can do, is grandfather in. We've done it in the past, we can continue doing that. But you cannot go ahead and take away a person's livelihood in zoning changes right now at a time when it is so critical for people to make a living. And you should actually be honored that somebody stayed that long in your community to do that. And the moment you take that away from them, you take away the spirit of what America was built on. And I really think you need to take a step back and look at your zoning ordinance before you pass any more of this, and know that by setting a precedent, you better do something to take care of the real people that have that not just volunteers working in a shop that does great work across America. I have nothing to do with that. I was a member for years with them. I'm talking about what happens every single day to stay alive and have a business and be proud of what you built. And if you can't do that, then yes, this will be an awesome election year, and I can't wait to take you all on. Good night.
Thank you. Any other public comments this evening?
Yeah, going off what she said, I'm Ed Coyle, I live on 203 South Street. Our families, my dad's been there, my grandpa's been there, we were on South Street, remember my grandpa hearing the story of inlets? Someone put a drill press in their garage before it was zone industrial, it was all houses back when my grandpa lived there. My dad grew up, went to high school here in Rochester, now I own it.
100 years.
Yeah, been here 100 years, and had a fire at our house, and now, I have my property and my barns, I still have my barns and my sheds and my greenhouses and stuff, but.
We're wondering why we can't live there. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
they tore our house down, there shouldn't even been, it was burned down, it was a double brick home, and they came in right away with a bulldozer and took it down in 5 minutes. They needed to get 3 permits to do that. They didn't ask our permission, and then our sheriff's company couldn't see nothing. Now we go to the city and ask if we can build again, and they said, no, now it's rezoning. Well, you guys tore our house down, didn't even let the insurance company look at it, so we just don't know what to do. We're just here just to ask you guys what we should do.
Now there's this rezoning.
That's our property at
change,
203 South Street.
I know he wouldn't let me build a house
He was
back there.
inherited
and
that house, his family wanted to keep living there all
Talked
our
to
rest
Nick,
of our
and I
life.
even had a industrial 40 by 60 building that just had a penthouse on top, and they said,
No, you
we lived
can't
there
live
100
there.
years, no, you can build anything you want, you just can't live there. Now,
And there
how's
should be
this?
grandfathered in too, like
I
she's
was
saying.
grandfathered in.
So we just don't know what we should do. I mean, this is not really right how that happened. We don't want to sue the city, or anything, or fire department. But they shouldn't have did that to us. And it's been 2 years now. We're just sitting back. He's so depressed every day, he can't even do nothing. He just retired and everything after 50 years, and it's just, we just don't know what to do. I mean, we should have some kind of rights where we could be able to live there
Some
again.
type of assumption, I mean, we'll build what you want us to build.
And now, what are they saying about what are they changing it to, the, rezone, or what are they changing it to? The research and development, what is that about? I mean.
What's that gonna make
Yeah,
worse
so,
for us?
so let me
That's our land
just.
that they're changing?
Yeah, so let me just say something here, ma'am. So this is public comment, so it's a little awkward, and
Yeah,
that we're not allowed to really dialogue or answer questions or anything like this. This is your opportunity to kind of share what you're concerned about, in particular on this specific change in the ordinance. So this
Yeah.
ordinance change has to do with adding 25% retail. So if you have
Where, on our
10,000.
land?
So in the light industrial, so it's the other side of the street. I think you're on the north
Yeah,
side of
there's a
South.
residential house right across the
So
street from us.
this, what we're discussing tonight is about that south side of the street, adding 25%, so it's limited accessory retail use. So I think your comments are related to a future discussion that council is going to have regarding our future land use and master
next
plan.
week?
So,
Oh, okay.
I would really like you to come back.
Should we do anything before then or anything, or just come back and listen?
I can talk to you.
Please meet with city
Is that-
manager,
okay, Nick,
please.
Okay, we will.
Thank
We
you.
just didn't know what to do.
Thank-
like-
I know, that's the whole point. You showed up. Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Any other public comments? Giving it a moment. Brian, do we have any callers online? I don't think so. I see Joellen. Okay. City Clerk, do we have any correspondence? Okay. All right, so I'm going to close the public hearing. It is 7:44. Okay, so council, so regarding this ordinance change, what is before us is to move it for first reading and introduction. Councilmember Hauser?
I just want to make sure everyone is understanding what this ordinance is going to do in pertaining to the zoning changes that are being talked about outside of this particular issue. And I don't know, maybe city manager or city attorney, if you could just clarify and set the record straight. All we are talking about today is allowing certain businesses to sell certain things as ancillary to their business if it's less than 25% of their business. This is not a change in zoning. This is not a change in use. This is not taking something away. It's actually giving something. I just want to be certain because we had some public comments, and I want to be clear that those conversations that were at the podium have nothing to do with the proposed ordinance change that is before us at this moment.
That's 100% correct. Those would be appropriate discussions for the RTEC rezoning and I-1 and I-2. So, but this has nothing to do with it. Everything you just said is exactly correct.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember King?
Yeah, before a motion's made, I also just want to say that there is precedent for zoning amendments to zoning ordinances in the past. There have been specific businesses. There was a carve-out previously added to the industrial area for swim schools specifically to have retail use sales. There was a carve-out specifically, I think this is I-1, correct? So across the street in I-2 for the resale connection to allow retail sales there. So there is a precedent for this. I don't see it as we're taking anybody's rights away or harming any other businesses in the area. I think we're being responsive to the community, to an organization that's adding a lot of value to the community. And we're also making it very clear for all of the businesses in the area, some that maybe were grandfathered and allowed to have retail sales, might have been a little bit gray. There was question of why can they sell, motor oil products when they're doing service on vehicles. And I think this gives definition to all of the businesses in the area that you can have a small amount of retail sales ancillary to your business or to your to support your mission in the case of nonprofit. So I would like to make a motion to move this forward, I think, to the second reading?
Yeah, first reading and
First
introduction.
reading and introduction.
Okay, so motion by King. Councilmember Jones?
I'm just going to second.
Second by
Support,
Jones.
yeah.
Any other discussion? Councilmember Hauser?
I would like to just, again, to clarify, the conversations about changing the zoning, et cetera, those are for another meeting. It's at the next city council meeting. Right, so for those individuals who came to talk about the zoning issues that you're concerned about, the mechanic shops, Greg, my friend over there, any of those, the house, any of those would be the next meeting. Everything that was discussed here has nothing, it's not relevant to this particular issue here. I don't want you to think we're glossed over it.
The letter says else.
And I haven't seen the letter, so I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure that what you said is important, what you said is important, but it's at the next meeting. Okay.
Thank you. Councilmember Trent?
Yes, I agree with Councilmember Hauser. Thank you for coming and letting us know, because we are continuing to talk about zoning, but that, and those meetings are posted when the public comment will be very, very valid to hear, what your concerns are. But I also I am excited that we're adding clarity to the 25% of retail on South Street, that is going to be approved and available now, because as Councilmember King said, it has been going on, and there was a gray area, and now it's all, I feel like I know that will be settled. So we'll have
Councilmember Sage.
Thank you, Mayor. Question for the city attorney. So this one, very specific in item C, that this limited retail use shall be for industrial zone properties located on South Street. Does this set a precedent then for any other industrial area in the future?
Well, that paragraph continues, and not in other industrial areas of the
Correct.
city. So that would be, to your point.
So that would be enough to say can never happen again?
Well, unless the ordinance changes.
We'd have to change the word.
I mean, the ordinance would have to change, because the language right now is specific, because that was an issue raised, I believe, at Planning Commission about there's other industrial, but the discussion had always been the South Street industrial areas. So we were asked to put in language to clarify that this was not for, say, the Woodward industrial, or in Second Street? Second Mill. Yeah, so this is just for the South Street industrial area. Okay. Good question.
Thank you. And for my part, I did speak with several businesses on this south side of South Street and explained what was being discussed, and I was received very favorably. They felt like this could create some opportunities for their business to have this district be more like an incubator type space. So I support this, and I feel like because of all this deliberation and discussion, we're moving in the right direction. So, City Clerk, the roll call, please.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes, so that will move to our next council meeting. All right, we have no legislative deliberation. We have some reports and regular business. So moving on to consideration to accept the notice of retirement effective March 27th, 2026 from our city clerk O'Connor, and give administration direction on the process for filling the vacancy.
Can I ask to have this pulled from the agenda?
No.
Try. Just saying.
You can ask, but
Can we retract it?
City Clerk, what would you like to share about this?
So I will save my thank yous and goodbyes for 6 months from now, but this is one of 3 positions that is appointed by city council, which means that interviews, deliberations, and the appointment itself has to be is subject to the Open Meetings Act. So you need a longer runway, so to speak, for this process. Next year is going to be a very busy election year. That process will start in May, so not a very big window between my leaving and that. So that is the reason for this 6-month notice for you. We do have, I did let you know in September that this was coming, or in June, and we do have 2 internal candidates. So what we're looking for from you tonight is how you want this to go forward. Do you want to just interview the 2 internal candidates, see how that goes, or do you want to start and have us advertise and seek other applicants and interview everybody all at once? So that's the motion we're looking for tonight, is to accept the notice of retirement and to give us guidance on how you want to proceed.
Okay, and so from a timeline standpoint, if we wanted to go out to consider a broader candidate pool, what would that timeline look like? If we posted it, could we, within 30 days, have interviews, or what is the posting timeline with a clerk's position? Because I know some of these positions, like fire chief, police chief, it's just different, right?
In the clerk world, as right now, we're going through an election cycle. Clerks are not going to be looking for a new job right now. It will take place after the November election is what that was. So you're asking, we could accept applications, most likely you would get applications, but as far as an interview process, you're most likely not going to get a lot of candidates that are going to be interested in going through that before that November.
Council, what are your thoughts on this? Councilmember Sage.
How much time do you need, do you think, for an effective transition? Because that will determine how quickly we want to, if we want to engage an outside pool.
I mean, it depends on if you pick, our internal candidates are Brian and Megan. They both have had at least 5 years' experience working here in Rochester in that office. That they already know what's going on. An outside person, right from the, you're going to be hiring someone who's seasoned, month, 6 weeks. So you would be looking at early next year.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll claim institutional knowledge here.
That's good.
So I was here when we hired Leanne. I think we opened it up. They had a subcommittee of council people who narrowed it down to 4 or 5 people, and then they came in here and interviewed in a public setting. So that seems to be the way, because it is a council hire.
Yep.
So that's a recommendation on a way to do it.
Okay, so to go out for a broader candidate pool
Well,
and have a
yeah, I mean,
subcommittee conduct initial screening and then bring it to all of council.
And then have 3 or 4 public interviews, because
Yep.
it has to be public.
Yeah, has to be public. Yep, absolutely.
I support that.
So I think we need a motion regarding which direction we would like to go.
Well, I'll make the motion to include both directions. I would prefer to interview the internal candidates first, obviously. And then we may not need the other direction, because it's going to be up to us.
So maybe if we could have those interviews scheduled at our next meeting, before or after our next meeting?
Well, I would see, I mean, since it's the middle of an election, you
Well-
want to wait till after the,
Both Brian and Megan are employees currently. They know that this is happening, so that's doable if that's what you would be looking to do.
Because really, from a council standpoint, this is our hire, this is, this is, and within us, there's 5 of us that are on the ballot. So there's 5 of us who may not be here after the election. I do think about the fact that we all have quite a bit of experience working with the clerk's office, the clerk, Leanne, the other internal candidates. All the other candidates may or may not have that experience. So to me, I do lean towards wanting this council to be able to make this decision. I think this council has good experience. I think we work well together. We deliberate well together. I think we would come up with a good answer. So that would be my hope, is that we could move on this while this council is in place. But I can't make a motion, guys.
No,
So,
I know that Steve's,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll make that motion.
Well, I can second I think his motion was okay, if that.
Okay.
To start with the internal
too. Okay.
candidates,
Yeah.
but leave the door open to go to a broader pool.
Okay.
Does that's it. I would second that motion.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second, and so timing-wise, we want to schedule those quickly.
Yeah, the next meeting, the zoning meeting's the 28th.
Oh,
so
no,
that
not a good
night.
idea.
So then maybe the meeting after that, or it could be any night of the week that we could get everybody.
It could be a
together.
special meeting.
Be a special meeting.
Maybe we.
As long
I
as
think
it's
that might be
Like you're
better, right?
doing
That's a
budget
good idea.
session.
Special session.
yep.
Yep.
I
do it that
agree
way.
with that.
Okay, we'll do a
Okay.
poll and find the date.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion on this? City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item B, consideration to request to replace a DPW vehicle, number 646, a 2013 Ford F-250. Nick Schaefer, you're up.
Yes, that is correct, yes. Thank you, Mayor, Council. This evening, we are looking to replace vehicle 646. It is currently a 2013 Ford F-250. After evaluating this truck, we're looking to capitalize the potential equity in this vehicle, which we're hoping to be around $20,000. So with that, and through the purchase of the state bid, the total cost of this vehicle is $68,411, and that is with outfitting the vehicle also, with lights and plow.
Council, any questions regarding this? I do know that the Budget Committee has gone through this in, I'm going to say, excruciating detail, and so in seeing it on the agenda, I trust that the Budget Committee has asked quite a few questions, but Councilmember Jones.
I am on the Budget Committee, and we did ask a lot of questions, but go back on the price. I thought that was the final price. But
That is the final price, the $68,411.
includes
Correct.
all the extra. Okay, I thought you said in addition there would be. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Councilmember Trent?
Yes, and at the Budget and Finance Committee, we were assured that they had been trying to do this for several years, I think, what'd they say, 8 times? Is that was, they talked?
7 times.
7
Yeah.
times, 7 times.
Yeah.
And they had kept extending it because we wanted to hear the steps that had been taken to get these vehicles to last as long as they can, but also understanding that they have to, they're professional vehicles, they're commercial vehicles. So we have a different lens that we look at them through. So that's why I want to say thank you for explaining that to us and the budget meeting.
Councilmember King?
I just have a question for you. Maybe the Budget Committee, I know we had talked about the scorecard. Have there, and it looks like this falls, right within the scorecard of, right at that medium priority, almost into the high priority of the vehicle. I'm just curious, because I know we did talk about the scorecard. Have there been any changes to this, or is this the same?
I'm going to defer to Mayor Salvia, because we've talked about this as far as the scorecard.
Yeah, so there have not been any changes to the scorecard, but the Budget Committee is going to take another look at the scorecard. Like, as an example, there isn't any criteria or guidance around, we've deliberated on colors of vehicles because there's an additional cost for vehicles. So, the appropriate miles. There's still some work that needs to be done on the scorecard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion? Councilmember Trent.
I'll make a motion to, consideration to request the replacement of DPW vehicle number 646, a 2013 Ford F-250 with the new vehicle.
Thank
Do I
you.
need to say what that is?
Support.
Motion by Trent, support by Sage. City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion
Thank you.
passes. Nick, I think you're up for the next one, which is consideration to approve well number 5, pump overhaul and aerator upgrades at the water plant.
Yes, you are correct, thank you. So yes, we're looking to get pump 5, the well cleaned and the motor overhauled, in addition to replacing 2 fans on both aerators and electrical with it. So we are looking to award this job to Northern Pump with a total cost of $83,261.
Thank you. Thank you for the extra due diligence on this one. My rough math was, looks like this saved us about $12,000. Thank you.
And we did have discussion with Peerless on that, so you're very welcome.
Thank you. Council?
I'll make a motion to approve the well 5 pump overhaul and aerator upgrades at the water plant.
Motion by Hauser,
I'll support.
support by Trent. Any other discussions? Councilmember King.
I'm just curious, because I don't have as much experience with these, but can you explain the water plant a little bit more and where the pumps are and what the purpose and just,
Sure, absolutely.
helpful.
So there's currently 5 wells that pretty much pump and deliver the water to half the community. So water is pulled out of the ground, treated, make sure it's safe, and distributed through half the city.
okay, so this is important because this
Very.
is a fifth of our water supply for half of our city.
Your water,
My water, okay.
yes.
Yep, it's important.
Also many other residents.
Yes.
Yep, okay, thank you. That's really helpful.
And anytime you're looking to go on a tour, Corey,
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
more.
we got to get you out there.
And he
I love
does an
that.
excellent,
Yep.
excellent
We-
job with it too.
Yes, he does.
We've done them together in the past,
Yeah,
but it's
We
a
should have
good
like
tour.
a community tour day for people if they want.
Well, we do that.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
Well, she meant community,
He
not
does
The
it
just
community
us.
was there, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Corey does that
It's
also.
open to
Corey
everybody.
I
does.
talked to him about it, I think it's been a year or 2 since he's done it.
No, not that.
That would be
long.
nice.
But yeah.
We went to the last one, it wasn't that long ago, and it is, like you said, well worth going.
Tonight after the meeting, we'll all go.
Yeah. And the community, there was probably 20 people there, communities invited, and it's super now.
That would be good,
Yeah.
maybe this fall.
Yeah.
I'll touch base with Corey and we'll send out some information, but yeah, he does do it.
That'd be great, that'd be great.
Alrighty.
City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Motion passes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item D is consideration of request to approve the purchase of a 2025 Chevy Tahoe. This is for road patrol. So I see Chief approaching.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for inviting us to the Finance Committee meeting, because I think we learned a lot there. You know, I think we understand each other's perspectives, why we need certain vehicles. And in this case, I'm just requesting the purchase of one vehicle to be a 2025 Chevy Tahoe. This will be strictly for road patrol. It will replace a 2019 Ford Explorer. It's one of our oldest cars in the fleet. This is in accordance to the revolving equipment fund schedule. The vehicle will be purchased from Fox Chevrolet, one of our neighbors here, for $53,702. That does not include stripping the old police car and putting new equipment on the new car. Based on this vehicle's age and condition, the old vehicle, I believe we should, there's no reason why we can't get anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 for that. The nice thing about this purchase is Fox Chevrolet has the vehicle in stock, and if we had a pass on this, it will take approximately 9 months to get another vehicle. It just takes quite a long time to get a patrol vehicle. We selected, we want to go to this transition period. We want to try the Chevy Tahoes. Most police departments are going to them. They're just more functional. They sit higher. You can see things. They're safer for the officers. And, you know, we have a lot of larger officers, you know, with all their gear on. They're anywhere from 250 to 300 pounds. And it's hard to get in that Ford Explorer. I even have a hard time getting in there and with all that gear on. So I think they'll be much appreciative. And we'll see how the Tahoe goes. If it doesn't go well, then there's not many vehicles we can choose from, but we do have options. So with that, that's my request. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Councilmember?
You mentioned this, and we did talk about it a little bit, but just so the public knows, there's a lot of scrutiny that goes on, and now it is in the Budget and Finance Committee. So by the time you've come here, we've already asked a lot of questions, and just because there is the Vehicle Replacement Fund is not a reason to spend those funds. It really is a warranted purchase for that vehicle. And also, you are taking the one off, which means that next one drops down, and it's the school liaisons that use those, correct?
Typically, the older vehicle will go to the school liaison officers because they don't use it for road patrol.
Right, okay.
But yes, I like the checks and balances. I like that process. I think it'll work.
I think it's going to work very well.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you. Council?
I'll make a motion to buy the new Tahoe police car.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll support.
Support by Trent. City Clerk, the roll call.
Salvia.
Yes.
Vixen.
Yes.
Hauser.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to reports from various boards and commissions. The first up is our Rochester Area Youth Assistance Committee. So, Councilmember Jones, do you have an update on this?
I was not at that meeting.
Okay.
So the only thing I do know is that we did, I'll tie this into Arts and Apples. They do allow us to work a gate for a fundraiser, and it sounds like it was quite successful. It's actually a hard volunteer event to cover. You need so many slots filled, so
Yes.
it's always a tiny bit of a struggle. Up until the day before, we filled it all, and we appreciate Arts and Apples allowing us to use that as a fundraiser, so.
Great,
That's all
thank you.
I have right now.
Next up, coming right back at you, Councilmember Jones, is the report from the Cemetery Committee.
The main thing discussed at the Cemetery Committee is that we are looking at our fees. That's something we're working on right now. We are tagging on to Rochester Hills because they did a survey of all the local cemeteries to come up with a new fee structure for themselves. We're waiting for the results to that, and we will be changing some of the fees for the cemetery.
Okay, and so those fees would come to City Council, correct?
Yeah, and usually that's an annual thing. There are some other fees involved. We actually talked about it, our Budget and Finance Committee, so there will be a sooner presentation for a handful of fees that are going to change. We have, in our case of the cemetery, because they were able to take out a road and put in plot locations, and if I'm saying this wrong, Leanne, correct me, and we want to sell those monument spots. And so we don't want to wait till later in the process for the fees to change, because people are waiting for those, correct? So,
Years.
yeah, So the
There's a
sooner-
waiting list.
There's a waiting list. So the sooner we can get this fee decision, comes in front of council, it's approved, they can start being sold.
Sounds good. That's a good plan. One comment I wanted to make on the cemetery is that, because I know there has been discussion about cemetery improvements, and there are assets that are in reserve for the cemetery. When the law changed in 2016, which allowed entities to invest the funds for cemeteries, we took advantage of that pretty quickly. And those funds are managed, and they were recently reviewed at the OPEB meeting, because they're managed by Morgan Stanley. And so those funds started, it was $750,000. They've grown to $884,000. And so to me, this falls in the category of Rochester Smart, where we are not taking funds out of that cemetery fund. We're letting them grow because we have to perpetually care for that cemetery. So it's about $125,000 a year to maintain the cemetery. Someday, maybe those funds will grow where they can be funded from these funds, but right now, we're letting those funds grow, so
Thank you for adding that.
Rochester Smart.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to a report from the Historical Committee. So, Councilmember Sage.
Unfortunately, I was out of town, so I did not have an update on that meeting.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll hear about it in a future date, but mark our calendars for the May 16th, 2026 Daughters of the American Revolution. The city has received grant funding for a historic marker that will be placed in the Mount Avon Cemetery. So that'll be a pretty beautiful and patriotic event.
I could have just added to the cemetery, which
Okay,
tags
back
onto
to
that.
cemetery?
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm so sorry. When you said that, so we are going to do another headstone cleaning, October 11th. We're going to go in, we're getting ready for all these events next year, and it is well worth stopping by and looking at the corner of Wilcox and Third.
The oldest
work
section of
that
the
they
cemetery.
have done, have you been in there, City Clerk?
Oh.
Oh, boy, it
like
is,
it.
I mean, it is noticeable from your car.
Yep.
That Dave Carter and his group have been working on repairing, cleaning, starting with the older part of the cemetery. And we're gonna have the Boy Scouts and the robotics team again to come in and continue that process. So it's really been wonderful to watch.
That's a great community engagement
Yeah.
activity. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
And thanks to DAR for all they've done.
Yes, definitely. Moving on to Planning Commission, Councilmember Hauser.
Sure. Okay, so at the Planning Commission last Monday, or I'm sorry, it would have been last Tuesday because after the holiday, 3 matters that came before the Planning Commission. One was site plan approval and facade change for the property located at 313 South Street. That was approved. The next issue was property located at 120 South Main Street. That was a special project and site plan review with a facade change. That's the building right when you come into town across the bridge. It would be on your right-hand side next to the dry cleaners over there. That building is going to be rehabilitated and repurposed as a physical therapy clinic, and this was approved. Now, because it's a special project, it will come before City Council, so all of us up here on City Council will have an opportunity to review the proposed changes and the plan and the use. So that'll come up at a future City Council meeting once they have their drawings and other changes that they had to make, because there was a conversation about the exterior material, so that'll come up sometime in the future. And then the third project, you may have heard there's an issue at 543 North Main Street. The owner of the property came before Planning Commission to discuss proposed plans he has for the renovations that have recently taken place at his property. By way of background, however, the property owner commenced work on this project without coming before Planning Commission for the, appropriate approval and sign off on the changes that were going to be made. So that work has been stopped through a stop work order. And the landlord, or I'm sorry, the property owner will need to come back to Planning Commission and have a formal site plan submitted for consideration by the entire Planning Commission, as well as the city planner and city manager and Mr. Peckins, okay? And this list is not inclusive of everything, but kind of gives you an idea of what the Planning Commission has instructed be presented, and that would be a survey showing where the property lines are. Site plan has to be dated, signed, and sealed by a licensed professional. The striping would need to be identified specifically in the courtyard, which, by the way, I note has already been done, however. They would have to identify sidewalks, any modifications to sidewalks. there's been lots of conversations about the installation of gates. Okay, so the planning commission as well as the city planner have mandated that the owner, when he comes back at a future meeting, a traffic study, okay, a traffic impact study to determine how traffic on Main Street and University may be impacted by the installation of those gates. Also, because those are main thoroughfares, MDOT has jurisdiction over those roads, so MDOT comment is going to be required. And then the property owner is also going to have to give information as to how delivery trucks, fire trucks, garbage trucks, and other emergency vehicles are going to be able to have access into those points. And then finally, one of the posts or one of the gates that have been installed over here off of Pine, there's a question as to whether or not it's in a city right-of-way. There's some discrepancies between the information the city has as well as the information that the owner has. So hopefully, before the next meeting, we'll get a clear identification of exactly where the boundary lines are and if that gate or the post of that gate has been installed on city property, okay? And when that owner has compiled all that information, that will come back before us at the next planning commission. Now, I don't know if it's going to be in the October meeting or not. We'll find out. But as far as I understand, until that happens, that stop work order remains in full effect. And happy to answer any questions.
Councilmember King.
Mrs. King.
Does the stop work order, and maybe this is a question for Nick, or city attorney, does the stop work order, is it still limited solely to, I think, the parking lot and the gates? Or does it pertain to maintenance of the building and property otherwise?
Yeah, so I can answer that. So we want him to get all the blight cleaned up on the property, so it's only to do with the gates, period. For instance, he put a sign up, and now it's on MDOT's right away. It said trucks, no trucks, I think.
Gate access only.
Tickets access. So
Tickets
I called him today. It's like, number one, it's in MDOT's right away. Do you have a permit for that sign? And why did you put that up? Because you don't have any tickets. It doesn't make any sense. Well, by him building the gates, his trucks can't get in there now. So he doesn't want anybody going in there by mistake. It's like, okay, well, call MDOT, because MDOT's not going to want that sign there. It makes no sense. So rip out your gates so your trucks can get in there, I guess. So we're dealing with that. So we want him to, like, he's finished the electrical work, he's a broken window, some of the sidewalks, some of the bricks. We want him to get that done, so that's got nothing to do with the stop work order.
Okay. I did notice the bricks continue, to be an issue. There's
Yep.
crumbling bricks. Some of the building itself is crumbling, so.
Yep, so he's still on a plan with code to keep moving forward, especially coming up with the season coming up now. We want to get all that masonry work done now, so I anticipate it to be done before the cold weather, so.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I just had a question. I mean, I've seen on planning commission some traffic studies, but then other things we don't have traffic studies. So is there some?
That's a fair question.
Precedent that we?
Yeah, because it looks like from the preliminary review from the planner that he's gonna have to stack across the property lines and onto the road, and it's MDOT's road. MDOT they want to see a traffic, it's a traffic impact study. It's not a full traffic where you're coming from. It's
right.
How are you blocking the public right of way? University's our road, so our planner wants that. So MDOT will do.
So there's a difference between a
impact study and a full traffic
impact
study.
and the huge.
Absolutely.
Like we had for like the
A
Randazzo.
new development or something.
To clarify, the way that the gates would operate is that if cars were coming in one or two, they would back up University
right.
or Main Street, and that's the issue we need to
But
understand.
100% not a full entry. That will cost $50,000. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is more about that. And then-
Specific, yeah.
And then the other issue that we talked about, and I'm sorry, very
No,
quickly,
that's
is
fine. No,
the entire reason that a property owner comes to the planning commission in advance before they start doing work is to avoid this entire situation about having signs up or gates up or things that prevent access if there's a fire in that building, for heaven's sake. Is an emergency truck going to be able to get in there today? And that's what I think planning commission was most concerned about. So that's it.
Good points.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thorough
report.
Yeah, right.
Councilmember Trent.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask about the debris and the concrete that's being deposited next
Yep,
to.
I can answer that. So we went out, took pictures, sent him the pictures. He was not aware of that. A lot of stuff there won't be necessarily the owner. It was the concrete people. So Chief John's meeting him at 2:00 tomorrow. showing what needs to be removed and get that removed, or we will issue a violation. I anticipate there won't be a problem. It's just get it back on there and dig up the stuff that was dumped there, so.
Yes, so I took a little peek, and there is quite a bit of debris, and it's interesting that it's only from this concrete, that was there, but there is quite a bit of dust, concrete dust, and other items. So it's really near to it's near the watershed, and, and I don't know how much of an easement the city has. I mean, he doesn't own everything.
He owns all the way to the river, to the middle of the river, so.
Oh,
So, but
okay.
we don't want anything that's gonna
Oh,
impact the river quality.
okay.
It's a designated trout stream, and so we
Okay.
will,
Oh,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
we'll get compliance.
Yeah, I didn't know, I thought there was an easement on the, no, okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Wait, I think I've got, do I have?
Oh, I missed
couple of
two.
reports.
Two more. All right, Budget Committee. Is it Mayor Pro Tem or Councilmember Trent?
No, it's me.
Councilmember Trent's
It's
gonna
Councilmember
add, we've
Trent.
covered a lot, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
probably some.
So, we have covered some already. So we had a Budget and Finance kickoff meeting on Tuesday, September 2nd. We reviewed the rationale for the need of the replacement of the Ford Explorer and the DPW vehicle, as we saw presented this evening. And we're going to review the scorecard process for vehicles, because my understanding, it has not been reviewed in 7 years. We reviewed the master fee schedule, and we'll be continuing to look at that. We discussed rental property inspections, and because we have 400 rental properties, then you have to look at, how do you scale that to have 400 inspections? You probably won't, but then you're talking about code enforcement employee being added to our workforce. We're exploring that. So we also do Budget Committee meeting scheduling. It's very exciting, I know. And tentative budget schedule for goals and objectives, or for the budget workshops, which we will have with the full city council on September. The first one's January 24th. The second one is Saturday, February 21st. And if we need a third budget workshop, because sometimes we do, I do like that option, because, we're making a lot of decisions for the full city budget, and we don't want to do it quickly. So we also give some cushion to see if we have so we can have a third one if needed. We were given the annual budget policy submission for the October review, because said, the Budget Committee will be meeting quite often before we get to the first budget workshop, and then we are going to review the fund balance.
And that's it? Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess my ask is if we could get the agenda, or not the agenda, the proposed schedule to all of council as soon as possible, because I know some of us book trips and things like that, and we can stare at the dates and put them on our calendars. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already had to change the first date.
Right, and we may have to change dates, but this is,
It's a start.
It's important.
it's what we know. It's what we know.
It's very important, and
Yep.
I'd have to see, I might be going to, I think we might
And
have
I
to
think
change
we
one.
have another report out from the OPC.
Yes, we had a robust meeting. We approved the continued facility utilization, but the cafe and the gift shop are not going to be moved or messed with as of now. I do not think there's support to move those. We had new business. We passed a drug and alcohol policy. You
For
have to have-
employees?
You have to have a drug and alcohol policy, I guess, at the OPC, for employees and people who are members there as well.
Really?
No drugs and alcohol at the OPC, please.
Oh, at the place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We passed the bylaws, and there are a lot of good things going on at the OPC. So that's what was the main gist of was the cafe and the gift shop. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And City Clerk, I just noticed this, if we could make sure that we reference that as the OPC, Social and Activity Center. It is no longer the Older Person Commission. It is the OPC, Social and Activity Center. Big branding change, so. All right, moving on to next section for public comment. All right, seeing none.
Just real quick, in the minutes though, some of those were stated without having a resident name under the, public hearing. So I just wondered if that was.
Yeah, weren't clear.
They
in
weren't
what
clear.
their name-
I was at that meeting, so I was wondering if that was what the case was, okay, just so people don't think that they couldn't. And then I just wanted to clarify, when I spoke last regarding the zoning, and I guess I was more fueled by, I brought up, I understand that they're two totally separate things, totally know that 100%, I've been there before, so I brought it up because I don't want the business owners that spoke tonight to have to go through anything to lose their businesses in the future. So when you're looking at one that you're working to keep a business going, to allow them to have retail, to do their good things, service companies like the other two that spoke tonight need that same thing. So when you're talking about it at the next meeting or whatever, like I have no idea what's on your next agenda, I came up just to speak about that because I was very compelled on tonight to be able to speak about what they were going through. So you can think about it before the next meeting as well. So thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk, oh, well, I had another one, thank you.
Pat Kane, just a couple of things. Councilmember Jones, I'm going to send you an email regarding the cemetery. I do have a couple questions, but you're going to have to answer those, and that's regarding some things you need to know. Next, on this study, sometimes we do a impact study on traffic, other times it's a full traffic study. You guys know I don't like this. But on that bike ride bus that drops off at the bars, they stack traffic up because they go 5 miles an hour. Did they have to do, prior to getting the approval from this body, to be on Main Street, MIDOT, stacking traffic? Did they have to do an impact study? They do it at rush hour. They do it on the weekends. I'm just curious, because if this is the case, then do we look at other businesses? I know that's a gate, which has a higher probability sometimes, but it's not any worse than these narrow driveways right in that same area of establishments trying to get in and out and stacking. So I'm kind of like, just kind of something we have to watch. Then the next thing, if you turn into your packets for the check register, I think it's the fourth line down, it's page 1 of your check register. There is an amount that was paid in the amount of $795. I think it's fourth or fifth line, it's for an exam. I will tell you it says psychiatric exam, and there's a name. So I don't know if that's an employee, but if it's not an employee, should we be putting that name out if it's, that's all I'm saying, because I did see it, and that should be probably not there. Am I correct? I don't know.
I don't know.
You can't miss it.
We'll find it.
Yeah, it's page 1, check register. It's a $795 charge. It's right near the top.
I see it.
You see it?
Yep.
Because I don't know if we need to block somehow in a system. I don't know. I don't know, but something you need to maybe.
Thank you.
Look at.
Looks like Joe Ellen is addressing the public comment.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment that those are psychological evaluations for pre-employment purposes for either a firefighter or a police officer. So that's standard that we do a psych evaluation or possibly a dispatcher as well. And I agree the name should be removed from that, although it's just a psych eval for pre-employment purposes.
Thank you. Thank you, Joellen. Since it came out in public comment, I thank you for addressing that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other public comment this evening? City Clerk, any comments for us? Any additional comments? You probably have some election updates.
I do, 3. Candidate forum is this Thursday here in council chambers at 6:30 for all the candidates, and it's being hosted by the League of Women Voters. Absentee ballot applications went out last Friday, September 5th, and those are for the people that are not on the permanent ballot list, and those people, about 3,000 of them, their ballots will begin being mailed on September 25th. So, that's all.
Thank you. City Manager?
Just a huge thank you to Fire, Police, DPW, CERT, Paint Creek Center for the Arts. Great weekend, big turnout. Sunday was a little quieter, I think, because everybody came on Saturday, it seemed like. So, but the event went very well. Sean was very happy with it. The ribbon cutting event was right. The band's so good to hear them get everybody fired up. So it was a great weekend in town, and hopefully they all go that well. That's it.
Why don't you ask it when it's your spot? Thank you.
I shall do that.
Okay. City Attorney?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilmember Jones?
I was just going to say thank you to the police, fire, and DPW again for a great weekend at Arts and Apples. It was really fun. And it was cool to see the band. They were really engaged. They were cheering on all the speakers. Christian got, some applause. And so it was just a great weekend. Good to see the community come out, and it seemed like, we didn't have any issues, which was really fantastic. So
it was great. Mayor Pro Tem?
Again, thank you for the fire and police for a job well done at Arts and Apples. Thank you.
Great. Councilmember Sage?
Nothing this evening.
I'll start with my
Yes.
question for the
Yep.
city clerk. Will that candidate forum be live streamed?
I don't know if we record.
It is taped and then it will be.
It runs on the,
Public access.
Okay,
yes.
so someone
But I-
can go back and see
They
it.
can go back.
Post it,
Correct.
the ending of it. Okay. Let's see, just real quick on the skate park. So we had a meeting, I think it was a week ago Friday, with the company that's going to be designing and implementing the skate park. And we have approved that revised plan, and they are working on the construction plans. That'll be the next phase. I think we'll get them at the end of this month. We come back in front of city council again for approval from that, and then it will probably not be started till next April. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the goal is a grand opening for 4th of July-ish. So that's moving along. Also, as just a side note with my RCS connection, I did talk to some people that sit on the board, and they are coming close to a decision on what they're going to do with the 501 building. So I heard it might go this way, and then I heard it might go that way, so I am not quite sure. I think they're thinking, trying to figure out if there's something they could do there. Anyway, and then the final thing is, I was asked to sit on the rah-rah roundtable with McKenna for them. They started working on their master plan. And it was great. There was a Board of Ed person there. There was, Avondale was represented. They had a couple McKenna employees. Teresa Mangioli from the city of Rochester Hills was there. And it was just really a lot of questions about what can we improve? What are we doing well? What are we lacking? And they did that survey with those posters in the park, which was so smart. And they had them out for Arts and Apples, and the response has been very, very strong. We probably won't be getting a community pool, but that is the thing that was the most on there, what people were looking for. But I was happy they had invited me to join, and it was quite interesting. And then the final thing, I was going to talk about this tonight, but I know it was already brought up. I'm a major trail user, both on my bike and on my feet. And there was something in Community Lifestyles I actually cut out last week or 2 weeks ago that defined the rules of the trail as far as pedestrians have the right of way. And so I don't know if it's something we want to do in a future newsletter to talk about it, but there really seems to be confusion when there's pedestrians and bikes, and it's true about how fast they're going. And if you have a dog and your dog might be 2 inches off this way and they're zipping by, and it was really well written. I'll send it to you. City manager, they really defined how pedestrians get the right of way, and that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Trent?
I'll just pile on with Art and Apples. Ribbon cutting was really a nice ribbon cutting. Councilmember King and Hauser, and we were both there, and Hauser gave a good speech. And it was quite fun. And people started walking towards the park around 3:30. I mean, it was amazing, and it was a beautiful day. And I got word that the 1,900 apple pies were sold out, so you have to get them early next year. The Boy Scouts They were all made by Boy Scouts and maybe some Boy Scout dads.
And some moms, I used to do it.
Oh, okay. And some moms, I was told. My neighbors have Boy Scouts. And also, the report on the rah-rah caterpillar count. I know you guys are waiting for this. There were 6 monarch caterpillars at the rah-rah pollinator park. The hammock park at the pollinator garden. Well, we could name it the pollinator park, but, so yeah, that was exciting. I checked it out just a few weeks ago.
Is there an official scoreboard for this, or like?
I think we need to work on a scorecard.
Okay, all right.
Yes, because and there were butterflies, and there was, a couple of other flying insects. We're very pleased. They wanted to say thank you to all of you, and rah-rah. And last but not least, the electric bike issue has been coming up as I have been speaking to people lately. And, they are electric vehicles, and they are going very fast. And we are going to need to come up with some rules on that and start giving some kind of backup as to, for ordinance or something that it needs to be a speed limit. It's pretty bizarre, but yes, there's going to be a speed, now.
Yeah, so,
Technology improves.
I actually also noticed some very fast electric bikes buzzing through downtown on the street late in the evening, and I thought that is very dangerous. So I guess I'm looking for some clarity around what ordinances and laws we currently have in place on that. So, City Administration, can you maybe give us in the city manager's report some information on that? And I also do think, I have also seen in neighboring communities, they have walk your bikes on the sidewalks in downtown. And that's been sort of like a thing that people should know to do, but they don't. So maybe we need to look at that as well. I mean, those are 2 separate issues, but I have seen both of those.
And the
Councilmember
challenge is,
Hauser.
because they're electric, you can't hear them like you would some type of mechanical bike with a chain or something until they're right on you. And yeah. I'm not trying to take away people's fun, but there's got to be a balance somewhere between these two.
Safety.
I had brought up this situation to city attorney, and so this will be interesting to research, because there are state laws, and they're allowed to be on the trail and going fast. But I believe we could do some.
That's a third issue, because you're talking about the trails.
No, but we could do some ordinances and changes for our community in the downtown, and I don't know if we can change anything on the trail, but it'll be interesting to hear what the result of their
So really,
investigation is.
three areas: trails, streets, sidewalks.
Yeah.
Trails,
Downtown.
streets, sidewalks,
Yeah,
right?
'cause if you remember when we did the Main Street Makeover, we actually put up signs that said, "Walk your bike."
Yeah.
And then we took them down. We should have left them up.
Well, I saw a community, they had something on the cement, which I thought was a good place for it, written on the cement. Walk your bikes. Okay.
So,
I'm Trent?
Are you all- okay.
I'm Hauser?
No,
Okay.
very briefly, excellent job on Arts and Apples. Everyone did a fantastic job, and that's really it.
Yeah, I just had a couple quick things on the bikes. I sit sometimes with my father at dinner overlooking Parkdale, and these electric bikes and pedal bikes are just right down the middle of the road like they're a car. And also you get the kids on these scooters now that are going really fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's dangerous, and they're out in the street and they don't have helmets on, so I mean, that's an issue. And then as I ride my bike, I'm not a pedestrian. On the trail, another problem is you have people walking 2 or 3 wide, and they have headphones on.
Yeah.
And they can't hear you, and you say, and they don't move, and then you think they're gonna move, and then they don't, and then they're angry that you whizzed by them. So, I mean, everybody needs to be more aware.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, good points. So I would just like to make sure everyone knows that next Monday night is the State of the City. That is at the Community House. Doors open at 6:30. Presentation starts at 7. And for my Arts and Apples update, I found this incredibly gorgeous, cute picture from Rochester of the Big Bright Light Show. The artist told me that the lady in charge of the Big Bright Light Show had just come by and bought one too. So Christy had found it just before me. So I think it's really special. And I think all of the artists did very well. I saw a lot of people buying art, and the park looked fantastic. The Army of Volunteers was great. So it was a very joyful event in our town. I was very proud of how everything looked. So looks like we've got one more. You can't jot a note and like,
I know,
all
it's
right.
like I'm done. I just want to thank Ann Peterson for bringing the donuts, and I've been staring at them, and I cannot wait till we're done with the chatter so I can go have one. That was very thoughtful, so thank you.
All right, and so we have one more item, so I'm looking for a motion to go into closed session, and this is to consider a periodic personnel evaluation for the city manager.
With no intention to return,
No intention to return.
I make that motion.
Councilmember Sage,
I'll support.
support by Trent. City Clerk?
Hold on.
Salvia,
Yes.
Vixen,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Sage,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Smoke break?
Smoke